All Renegades of Puck to the trenches. It's time for Renegades of Puck TV. Welcome to the bunker. Welcome to the essence of no half-stepping. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier, and I am here yet again to remind you about the home base freakout. It is going to be the biggest tailgate and the biggest hockey get-together that you have ever seen. We're going to do that in partnership with Tailgate Brewery, the Music Row location. You can find that at 1538 Demonbreun Street. Of course, the date will be February the 25th. It will start at 7 p.m., and that will be the Friday night before the Stadium Series between the Nashville Predators and the Tampa Bay Lightning, taking place at Nissan Stadium. We have incredible special guests that are going to be a part of the home base freakout, including Eric Young, former Nashville Predators captain Mike Fisher, former Nashville Predators broadcaster and player Stu Grimson, Allie Lacombe, and so many more people. We are so looking forward to having each and every one of you come to our tremendous tailgate that we're going to be throwing in partnership with Tailgate Brewery. Again, it is going to be all ages, no cover. It starts at 7 o'clock, and it'll go on as long as the Renegades need it to go on. There's no better way to get your tailgate started for the Stadium Series than at Tailgate Brewery for the home base freakout. Stay tuned. Many more announcements and special guests coming very soon. Please also go to renegadesofpuck.com. And again, the home base freakout is going to be a reoccurring theme throughout the next month. There, you can check on our merchandise link, and that will take you to our brand new line of home base freakout merchandise. Got a chance to look at those t-shirts myself, and they are looking very good. As a matter of fact, we'll be giving a bunch of those away coming up here in the near future. More details on that soon. Besides the home base freakout merchandise, you can also find our classic logo t-shirt, and you can there find our Pride logo t-shirt. We appreciate each and every one of you for purchasing something from the Renegades of Puck. We've sold out, so you can buy in. That should be evidenced by the fact that we have socks, throw pillows, bed sets, wall arts, coffee mugs, and just about any gimmick you can think of. We put our logo on it so we can make a buck. That way we can make the bunker even better. Social media is a way that you can help us out tremendously. It doesn't cost you a dime, and it only takes a couple of seconds to give us a subscription on YouTube. We've done a great job of building to that first 100 plus, but we want to go ahead and keep building that subscriber base up. That is going to help us out tremendously, and the home base freakout is giving us that opportunity from a promotional standpoint to build our subscriber base up. So thank you very much to each and every one of you for following along Renegades of Puck TV on YouTube. Once it's produced and it's up there on YouTube, we sure would love it if you would share along on Facebook. That's right. You can find the Renegades of Puck on Facebook. You can also find the Renegades of Puck on Twitter. We are very active on Twitter. You can also find us on Instagram. We do offer an audio-only version of the show over on SoundCloud. So again, just another way for you to consume the essence of no half-stepping. And if you love seeing the behind-the-scenes footage, how it's all put together, and see me making mistakes, maybe dropping an occasional F-bomb, well, you'll do that through our Twitch feed. It's the behind-the-scenes look at everything we do here in the bunker. If you want to follow along and you want to get the information before anybody else, you can do that right there on Twitch. Become a partner of the Renegades of Puck by going to Venmo, or just scan the QR code that's right there on your screen. We have received some tremendous donations in our first couple of months here in operation as the Renegades of Puck, and that is helping us increase a lot of the things that you see on camera. We've added new lighting. We have upgraded our microphones, and we are getting ready to add a second position so that we can, in the future, not only bring in a second correspondent, but also have special guests and do interviews here live from the bunker. So again, that is through Venmo, how you can be a partner of the show and how you can tremendously help this independent hockey operation built by Renegades for Renegades. We appreciate each and every one of you and what you do to help us out. Now, we all know that you come here for the no half-step in hockey coverage, so let me deliver the goods to you. The Nashville Predators find themselves in second place after 43 games played in the Central Division, a record of 26-14-3. They have 55 points, 4 points behind the Colorado Avalanche for first place, 2 points currently ahead of the St. Louis Blues, 4 points currently ahead of the Minnesota Wild, 13 points ahead of the Dallas Stars, 15 points ahead of Winnipeg, and then 18 points ahead of Chicago, and 31 points ahead of the last place Arizona Coyotes. Now, for the Nashville Predators, I highlight the 43 games played because it is a bit of a jumble when you look at the games played category because of all of the postponements and all of the rescheduling. The Nashville Predators have played the most amount of games in the Central Division by far. The Colorado Avalanche, ahead of the Nashville Predators in first place, have only played 39 games, 4 less, while the Minnesota Wild have played 6 less games. Dallas has only played 38. Winnipeg has only played 37. So that is a bit of a skew on how we would normally consider the standings to be. But without a doubt, the Nashville Predators are playing above expectations for this season so far, and they do currently sit themselves in second place. Just because other teams have games in hand does not mean that they are guaranteed to win those games. So for the Nashville Predators, their next game will take place on the road in Seattle for the first ever visit against the Kraken. The Preds have a record of 13-7-3 on the road. They've scored 134 goals and given up 118 against. The Seattle Kraken have a home record of 8-13-2, an overall record of 12-24-4. 28 points has them dead last, 8th in the Pacific Division. When you take a look inside the most recent stretch of hockey for the Seattle Kraken, you go back to January the 13th, and it was a 2-1 loss at the St. Louis Blues. On the 15th, it was a 3-1 loss versus the LA Kings, a 3-2 shootout win versus Chicago, a 3-2 win versus San Jose on the 20th, and the 21st was a 5-0 loss versus the St. Louis Blues. Now, they will be taking on the Florida Panthers late on Sunday evening. We will not have those results before the end of this recording. But for the Nashville Predators, it is the second time in franchise history they have faced off against the Seattle Kraken, but the first time they have visited the Seattle Kraken. Now, it was all the way back on October the 14th when the Nashville Predators gave the Seattle Kraken the first victory in franchise history, which I'm sure will be memorialized with some sort of ugly, awful plaque that they put up somewhere in their arena. Seattle won that game 4-3. It was their first franchise victory. UC Saros took the loss going 22 out of 25. Mikhail Granlund was a standout performer for the Preds in that game with a goal and 2 assists for 3 points. Tolvanen and Josi had the other goals for the Nashville Predators. Philip Grubauer in net picked up the victory, making 27 saves on 30 shots against. Brandon Tanev had 2 goals against the Preds. McCann and Wenberg also had the other goals for the Seattle Kraken. After the Nashville Predators wrap up their one and only visit to the Seattle Kraken this season, Thursday night they'll be in Edmonton before February the 1st, coming back home to face off against the Vancouver Canucks, and then 8 days between games because these will be makeups during the what was supposed to be Olympic break. Now is the rescheduling time period for the NHL due to so many COVID issues back during early December and mid-December. So it will be the 9th when the Nashville Predators will be in Dallas, and then the 12th of February they'll be back home against the Winnipeg Jets, and then the 15th of February they will be at the Washington Capitals. Taking a look inside the numbers and the rankings between these two teams, no, you're not going to find very many impressive statistical metrics for the Seattle Kraken. Goals for 2.60 is 26th overall in the NHL. Their goals against at 3.60 is 29th. That is a dramatic margin of separation, a full goal between goals for and goals against. I give you the Nashville Predators numbers for comparison. 3.09 goals for at 13th best in the NHL, and 2.72 goals against is 9th best overall in the NHL. You can see how dramatically closer the margin is for the Nashville Predators than it is for the Seattle Kraken. Shots for, now this is a metric that neither team should be proud of in any way, shape, or form. 31st in the league for the Seattle Kraken at 27.8 per game. The Nashville Predators are 24th in the league at 29.3, and it is about quality, not quantity, but the Nashville Predators, frankly, do not have either in those categories. When it comes to special teams, the Nashville Predators have the 6th best power play in the NHL, converting 25.6% of the time, or 33 out of 129 opportunities. The Seattle Kraken power play is 23rd overall in the NHL, and they've only netted 19 power play goals on 109 opportunities. They have the 20th rated penalty kill. They've given up 22 power play goals against. The Nashville Predators have the 12th best penalty kill in the league at a rate of 81.8%. Now, for the Nashville Predators, while a lot of players have been coming back into the lineup, Tolvanen is now out of the lineup and on the COVID list. Unfortunately, the Nashville Predators will not be with him. He has been such a solid player throughout this season. Dante Fabro also still a question mark for the next game. The Nashville Predators definitely need their defenseman back in the lineup as soon as possible. There are always plenty of individual scorers and high-skilled players because, of course, this is the best hockey league in the entire world. So when you take a look inside the stats, no shock to see Jordan Eberle having a good first season as a Seattle Kraken member. 12 goals and 12 assists for 24 points. McCann at 15 goals and 8 assists for 23 points. Yanni Gourde, 8 goals and 12 assists for 20 points. And then you'll see Wenberg at 4 and 15 for 19. Philip Grubauer in net, 9, 15, and 4 at 883 save percentage, a 3.26 goals against average. Those numbers are, frankly, just completely abysmal, honestly. And when you take a look at the stats inside the numbers for the Nashville Predators, Roman Josi still leads the team in scoring, as he probably will, but Matt Duchene quickly catching up to him. Roman Josi has 13 goals and 29 assists for 42 points. Matt Duchene now at 19 goals and 19 assists for 38 points. Mikhail Granlund, 6 goals and 29 assists for 35 points. Ryan Johansson, 12 and 21 for 33. Philip Forsberg, 20 goals on the season now, 12 assists for 32 points. And Tanner Jeannot still leading all rookies in goals scored. He's got 13 of those on the season. Add 12 assists, that's 25 points. UC Saros is 22, 11, and 2, a 9.25 save percentage, and a 2.38 goals against average for the Nashville Predators. It is very simple. You gave away 2 points to a expansion franchise, Seattle Kraken, on your home ice earlier in the season. You simply cannot do that again. With a couple of bad losses in the books recently against Vancouver and against Buffalo, you simply cannot afford to give up these 2 points against a bad team in the Seattle Kraken. Yes, on home ice, they are better than they are overall, but that does not make a difference. You need to go in and you need to step on a last-place team, and you'll have an opportunity to do that in the late-night hours of Tuesday night. It's now time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. Rebirth Sports. You can find them at rebirthsports.com, or you can find them on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. They are incredible people, and they are incredible partners. I cannot wait to tell you more about the things coming along from Rebirth Sports here in the near future. But let's talk about right now. What they have done is take my vision and make it a reality. You see the road jersey right here in front of you for the Renegades of Puck. You see me wearing the home jersey a lot. You've seen me wearing jerseys from Rebirth Sports across the landscape of hockey, whether it is playing in league play here in the Nashville area, or it is playing in tournament play, or in the United States Pond Hockey Championships, all the way up on Lake Nokomis in Minnesota. Everywhere I go, people ask me, where did you get that gear? Where did you get that jersey? And I tell them it's simple, Rebirth Sports. And it's a conversation I've had many, many times in my years of playing hockey. They're incredible people, they're incredible partners, and they make an incredible product. I sure would love it if you would let them know. We were talking about them right here in the trenches and the bunker here on Renegades of Puck TV. Rebirth Sports. Again, check them out, rebirthsports.com. Now, let's get into the Rebirth Sports full game recap. Going all the way back to January 22nd of the year 2022, the Nashville Predators are hosting the former division rival Detroit Red Wings. John Hines is deploying his lines as following: Cousins, Johansson, and Cunnin, Forsberg, Granlund, and Duchene, Trennan, Sissons, and Jeannot, Smith, McCarron, and Tomasino. Your defensive pairings are Josi and Carey, Ekholm and Benning, Borowiecki, and Tennyson gets another opportunity. UC Saros gets the start in net in front of the home crowd. We're just 1:45 into the first period, and UC Saros is coming up with a save on Leddy, plus his rebound follow-up jam. Good scoring opportunity for the Red Wings early in the first period. 8:39 of the first period. Trennan is off to the box, 2 minutes for interference. The hit in the neutral zone simply came too late. The puck had already left the area. Felt that this was a good call, a close call, but the right call. UC Saros comes up with a save on Raymond's one-timer. Saros also comes up with a save on Bertuzzi. The penalty kill would hold. 12:27 of the first period. Forsberg finds the loose puck and gets a great chance from the slot at 13:31. UC Saros comes up with a save on Raymond after a slick delay move that almost saw him converting for the Wings. 15:53. Saros comes up with a save on Leddy's backhand off of the rush. At 17:15. Matt Duchene off to the box. 4 minutes for high sticking. We would see Matt Benning come up with an absolutely massive breakup just before the end of the period, and it was a decent PK. When I say decent, I mean they didn't give up a goal again, so good job by the penalty kill unit. We hit the intermission with Detroit out shooting Nashville 9-7. A carryover of 1:15 into the second period of the power play. The double minor to Matt Duchene. Ekholm kicks the puck out of the crease, and he did it with such casual style while UC Saros was out of position after battling to make the save on the previous shot attempt. At 7:22 of the second period, we'd see Janot with a perfect deflection, but unfortunately it would hit the post. At 8:10 of the second, UC Saros comes up with a save on Rasmussen's jam attempt. At 11:51, Veleno is off to the box. 2 minutes for elbowing on Ekholm. Cousins scoring his sixth goal of the season, giving the Nashville Predators a 1-0 lead. It was a shot from out high with Cunnin setting the perfect screen, and it looked like for a minute Cunnin might have even gotten an opportunity to deflect this, but it did not. Cousins puts the puck in the net clean. Nashville Predators 1-0 lead. Just 14:21, a little bit later, we see Matt Duchene's 18th goal of the season, giving the Nashville Predators a 2-0 lead. He carried it in on the rush and then went give and go with Forsberg in a highly skilled give and go that sees Matt Duchene putting the puck virtually into an empty net. 15:48, Nedeljkovic does come up with a big save, preventing it from becoming 3-0. 16:46, Ernie's off to the box, 2 minutes for hooking. The power play was sloppy and choppy and just not good, and it was caught deep at the end of the power play, allowing Ernie to come out of the box and go on a breakaway, and at 18:51 score his fourth goal of the season. Nashville now only leads 2-1. 19:47 the second period. We see Benning versus Bertuzzi. It was so good they ended up with 7 minutes apiece. They really got after each other. This was a heavyweight fight on a Saturday night at Bridgestone Arena. At the end of the second period, shots on goal. Nashville out shooting Detroit 17-16. Let's roll on over to the third period. 4:27 of the third period. UC Saros comes up with a huge save on DeKaiser's long shot. 4:56. McCarron's off to the box. 2 minutes for puck over the glass. You'd see UC Saros come with a huge save on Sider. Rasmussen would then go off to the box. 2 minutes for holding, making it a 4-on-4 for 42 seconds. That would generate a power play for the Predators of 1:18, where you'd find Nedeljkovic coming up with a big save on Filip Forsberg. Filip Forsberg, though, would have his revenge on Nedeljkovic at 10:44 of the third period. His 20th goal of the season, a backhand rebound off of Tennyson's shot. Tennyson, stick taps to you. Another assist for him after getting the call up. And Filip Forsberg, the first on the Nashville Predators to get to 20 goals this season, and he is making a significant push towards the single-season franchise goals record. At 16:12 of the third period, with the Nashville Predators leading 3-1, UC Saros comes up with a save on Raymond plus his rebound opportunity. At 18:12, we see Matt Duchene come up with the empty net goal, his 19th goal of the season, his second of this game. The Preds are up 4-1, but the game is not over yet. Then at 18:35 of the third period, we see Borowiecki versus Smith, and they would go off 5 minutes each. This fight looked like it could have gotten really ugly if Borowiecki hadn't let up and stopped trying to pull Smith off of the ice. Probably the smartest move he could have done right there was just let it go. 19:11 of the third period, we see Sissons go off to the box. 2 minutes for slashing, but then the time ticks away, and we hear the final buzzer with the Nashville Predators getting a 4-1 victory on home ice over the Detroit Red Wings. Detroit ends up outshooting Nashville 29-25, but overall, the Nashville Predators come away with the victory that they needed, and they go 2-0 against the Detroit Red Wings, sweeping the season series and coming up with all 4 points. Now, when the Nashville Predators went into Detroit, the Red Wings were on a much hotter streak than they were this time around, and the Nashville Predators were able to secure that victory. A lot of people talked about how the Wings were going to come in and give the Nashville Predators a very tenacious effort, and there's no doubt the Red Wings have some very good young players, and they have some pieces, but they were no match for the Nashville Predators, who played a much better, much more basic and solid game against this Detroit Red Wings team. UC Saros picks up the victory in what I saw as a bounce-back game and a really good, strong game. 28 out of 29 overall in this game. He was challenged at time. The only goal he gave up came on a clean breakaway on a guy coming out of the penalty box. So overall, I thought UC Saros was yet again very strong, and I also felt the defense supported UC Saros in this situation better than they have in recent games. We saw Mattias Ekholm. It wasn't a hard shot that he kicked away. Nonetheless, it was a puck that was going to go over the goal line if Mattias Ekholm isn't there to kick that puck away. We saw Benning coming up with a huge block on the penalty kill. We saw the D supporting UC Saros better than we have as of late. It was a much more detailed game for this Nashville Predators team than we had seen recently, and I am very happy to see the Nashville Predators be back in the winning column now, heading off to Seattle, where they need to continue doing that. Let me tell you about another of our great partners, Strong Style Fitness. Strong Style Fitness is simply incredible. You can find Strong Style Fit at strongstylefit.com or Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. A certified personal trainer with over 150 workouts already posted to YouTube. Totally free for each and every one of you Renegades, whether it's a good stretch you're needing or you're ready to throw some iron. From beginning level to expert, Tracy has it all covered for you. And if you don't like her training methods, her styles, or her classes, it's not going to cost you a penny. When you do decide that you like it and you see the results, that's when you can go ahead and make a donation over there and let Strong Style Fit know how much you appreciate them being willing to put their work out there for each and every one of you Renegades. Again, strongstylefit.com or Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Stick taps, love, and respect to Tracy at Strong Style Fitness. Now listen, I heard a lot about not getting too high and not getting too low, and that sounded an awful lot like the original head coach of the Nashville Predators, Barry Trotz. The amount of times I heard him say that after a game, can't get too high, can't get too low. We didn't hear that so much from Peter Laviolette, but we do hear that an awful lot from John Hynes, and I agree. Matt Duchene with the comments on the bench after the game and the post-game on the post-game show, where he said, we're not going to get too high about this one, and we didn't get too low about the recent stretch of games that, unfortunately, Nashville Predators came out on the wrong side of. So it's great to hear. It's a consistent message, and the head coach, John Hynes, clearly has gotten his message across. Sean C. Smith is going to talk more about that and also share the rest of his thoughts on this victory and all things Nashville Predators hockey. You can find him at ontheforecheck.com. You can also find him on Twitter at SCSOTF. He is Sean C. Smith. Sean, it's all yours.
Thanks, Charlie. Hey, Renegades, it's Sean C. Smith. Let's talk about the game. First off, happy about the big win, especially coming off of what was a pretty disappointing loss by the Tennessee Titans. It was nice to see one of our hometown teams get a win, and it came against the Red Wings, which tell me what's better than getting a win against the Red Wings. Not much. Well, maybe winning a football playoff game. That might have been better. But anyway, I'll take the win where I can get it. If I can only get one, I'll take it. It doesn't matter who it comes from. Let's just be happy we got a win today. So here's the thing. What did I see out of the Preds? First off, we talked a little bit after the last game about how the Preds were trying to not get too high or too low after wins and losses, taking the lessons and move on. And that's a very big example, a good example of Hynes speak that we've heard before, that had kind of trailed off as the Preds were in the middle of that winning streak. Now, what's interesting was it seemed like it popped up after the Preds lost a couple of games. And I think the reason was they got a little too high after all of the winning. Now, I'm not saying that like it's some big, of course they're happy, but I don't mean that, they can't be happy about the wins. But I think when they were starting to play against some of the weaker teams, they got a little overconfident in themselves, felt like they didn't have to play as hard as they had been playing against other teams. And those teams were able to take advantage. And we had a couple of what I would say embarrassing losses. But here's the reality. The Preds are back on a winning streak. It's exactly what you want to see. And the big thing is, after the game, Matt Duchene said that they didn't get too high after all the wins. They didn't get too low, or really, he said they didn't get too low after these losses, but they're not going to get too high after these wins, which tells me I was right all along and assuming that that's what happened. But they also said that they sought to improve on their play over the last game by watching film after Winnipeg to see what they needed to improve on. And did that work? It sure looked like it did to me. I saw a Preds team that played a lot harder with the lead than they had in recent games, and I saw them take advantage of getting up to the net, getting in front of the net, and taking shots from high-danger areas, and that's exactly what you want to see. Now, of course, it was against the Red Wings, but the Red Wings this year are not the Red Wings from last year. They're a much better team than they were last year, and I think it's a nice win to pick up, especially, after there had been a few games where it seemed like they'd taken the night off. But I will say this. First period was kind of low event, not a lot going on, but things got spicier as the night went on. And one thing I really enjoyed seeing, I like a good fighter. And I don't mean like I like fights just for fights, but I like people that seem to enjoy getting in those fights. And Mark Borowiecki's one of them. And he had a little tussle toward the end of the game, and I saw him on the replay smile as he threw the first punch. And that tells you that they're out there having a good time. And, of course, he gave the old Ric Flair woo after the fight was over on his way off the ice. And that's just icing on the cake for me. So, big win for the Preds. much better play in front of the net and much more tenacity while playing with a lead. And that's something that you really want to make sure you continue to see as we move forward, is that when the Predators get a lead early, they don't slow down and just kind of coast to the finish line. They play hard, they keep producing offense, and a team that's being forced to defend constantly while they're losing is a team that's not going to get a lot of opportunities to score goals, and that's how you take it all the way to the playoffs. So, Charlie, I'm going to send it back over to you, but I do want to say this. Sorry about wearing hats all the time. I know everyone misses my beautiful hair, but I need a haircut, and hopefully it's coming soon. Things just don't seem to be lining up with my busy schedule. So this time for real, back to you, Charlie.
You can find us working on theforecheck.com. You can also find him on Twitter at SCSOTF. He is the one and only Sean C. Smith, and I am so thankful to have Sean in the trenches with the Renegades of Puck. You know who else I'm incredibly thankful to have in the trenches with the Renegades of Puck? Stripe Digital Solutions. StripeDigitalSolutions.com, or find Stripe Digital Solutions, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Had a meeting with Stripe earlier today, and they are going to donate a box load of t-shirts for giveaway at the Home Base Freakout. This is such an incredible partner. From the logo on the wall to the jersey that I'm wearing right here, and just about everything you see related to the Renegades of Puck, renegadesofpuck.com. Many of our social media aspects, all taken care of and handled by Stripe Digital Solutions. I simply could not execute this project to the level that we have at this point without the help of some great professional like Brandy at Stripe Digital Solutions. I encourage each and every one of you, reach out to Brandy, get yourself in touch with her, and get in partnership with Stripe Digital Solutions. Believe me, you'll be incredibly thankful and happy that you did so. Your brand needs to grow. You need the expertise. You need the advice. Trust me, you do. I thought that I could do some of this alone. You just can't. It's a crazy world out there, and you need somebody that understands how to help navigate it, and how to help build your business, how to help build your brand. And Brandy is right there. It was such a fantastic meeting today, and so glad that I could finally give Brandy over at Stripe Digital Solutions her jersey. And also I went ahead and I put an A on that, because Stripe Digital Solutions comes through for me so much, and I believe in them so much that I want them to be my assistant captain and my right hand right here in the trenches. I wouldn't work with anybody else, believe it. Taking a look inside the box score, you see your number one goal scorer for the Nashville Predators, and Matt Duchene has 2. Nick Cousins has 1. Philip Forsberg also has 1. When you take a look at assists, Matt Duchene also on that sheet with 1. Philip Forsberg picks up 1. Philip Tomasino with an assist. You'll also see Matthias Ekholm with 1 assist, and Matt Tennyson picks up 2 more assists since getting the call-up. He is performing at quite a remarkable level. Shots on goal for the Nashville Predators in this game, led by Matt Duchene with 5. Roman Josi had 4. When you talk about block shots, Matthias Ekholm with 3 in this game. And the physical play was evident from start to finish in this game for the Nashville Predators. And Mark Borowiecki just piled up the hits. A total of 8 in this game. Tanner Jeannot had 4. And then you had a multitude of players with 3, with Luke Cunnin, McCarron, Sissons, also Tomasino, all with 3 hits apiece in this game. When it comes to time on ice leader, it is absolutely no surprise, or maybe it is, to see Alex Carrier leading the team in time on ice, 25:03 in total time on ice for the Nashville Predators. All the rookie talk about Tanner Jeannot, and all of the Wings talk about their young, hot rookie players. Well, it is Alex Carrier last night who will put up quite a nice performance. Also, great to see Tennyson getting an opportunity and certainly performing better than Harper. Let's go over to the Renegade Analytics desk now and get more numbers that you need to know, and get one big stat from Brian Basson. You can find him on Twitter at Brian Basson. You can check out his charts on theforecheck.com. Brian, it's all yours.
Thanks, Charlie. I'm here at Bridgestone Arena after the Preds' 4-1 victory over the Red Wings, and they are back to their winning ways, with now getting a winning streak of 2 games. Leading the way tonight, of course, was the lineup of Mikael Granlund, Matt Duchene, and Philip Forsberg. Duchene had a 3-point night, one of those assists coming on Forsberg's goal, and the line has been absolutely dominant as of late, with the return of Philip Forsberg from the injury list. In fact, Duchene and Forsberg are some of the best closers in the league, and that's tonight's one big stat. Philip Forsberg and now, after tonight, Matt Duchene both have 5 game-winning goals this season, which is tied for second in the NHL. I talked to Coach Hines about what makes those players special and how exactly they're manufacturing that pressure and producing now at this point in the season.
Hey, John. Philip Forsberg and Matt Duchene are both tied for second in the league in game-winning goals. What is it about that line and those players specifically that makes them so good at closing out games?
Well, the three of them are really smart offensive players. I think that they have, they're playing the game the right way. They're getting themselves in opportunities to be able to score. And, I think right now, because they've played the right way, they've earned the ice time that they're getting. They've earned the situations that they're getting, and it all works hand in hand. And then now they're able to produce. I think they have a lot of confidence in themselves. They have a lot of confidence in the trio of them together. And, that's what you need. You need players like that we expect to be able to help drive our team, to help be able to produce offense. They have the ability to make big plays at key times. And, they've done that for us quite a bit this year.
Coach Hines always likes to talk about doing the little things right, and those two, we can all agree, are doing pretty much all the little and big things right. Oh, and one more little bonus stat. We talked before the game about how this big rookie matchup between Tanner Jeannot, Lucas Raymond, and Moritz Seider was going to determine the Calder or show who the best rookie is in this game. But the only rookie who scored a point tonight is, you guessed it, Philip Tomasino. And that has been tonight's two big stats. Back to you, Charlie.
Listen, we have brand new correspondent to introduce to you, and I am so incredibly excited about this. I met this correspondent at Predators development camp last summer, and I recognized within a matter of minutes and a brief conversation, this was the type of person I want to have on my show. This is the person that I want to have part of my new project. And she's simply incredible. Her enthusiasm for the game, her keen eye, and her wit is incredible. And I am so thankful to have Ann Kimmel as part of the show. Welcome to the trenches. And we are so thankful and so appreciative to have you here with us. Now, Ann is going to be putting together an incredible special series for us here at Renegades of Puck TV. I told you, yes, we're going to cover the Nashville Predators. We're also going to cover other levels of local hockey. But we are looking to branch out and cover all forms of hockey. It's about the fire, it's about the fury, it's about the passion, it's about the glorious game. And the glorious game comes in many different ways. And something I am very excited to present to you. Ann is going to be doing an entire series on sled hockey for us right here. She's going to introduce the topic to you. She's going to get you all of the details, all of the information, and she's going to be doing a multi-part series here on Renegades of Puck TV. You can, of course, find her doing Nashville Predators coverage as well, but for right now, we're going to introduce her to the Renegades of Puck through this brand new series. Last night at Bridgestone Arena, they introduced the roster for the sled hockey team and the tournament coming up. Ann's going to talk to us about that. I hope you enjoy this because I know I'm incredibly excited to have this as part of Renegades of Puck TV.
Thanks, Charlie. I am so excited to be here in the bunker with all the Renegades, talking all things hockey, all things Nashville Predators, and all things sled hockey. That's right, more than just a victory at Bridgestone Arena occurred on Saturday night as Team USA announced the official 2022 Paralympic sled hockey roster during the Predators game Saturday night. The roster announcement was long anticipated and boasts a number of returning veterans, 11 in total, including defenseman and captain Josh Pauls. Brody Roybal and Declan Farmer, forwards, are two of the most celebrated sled hockey players in the world and will be competing for Team USA again. Travis Dotson will be competing in his third Paralympic Games, only his second with the sled hockey team. He competed in 2014 in para-Nordic skiing before switching to sled hockey. There are 6 rookies to the Paralympics that will be joining the team in Beijing, China. Our Nashville's own Joseph Woodkey will be on the team, as well as goaltender Griffin Lamar, who will be joining the team in a spot where veteran Steve Cash is stepping away. He retired and will not be returning to the Paralympics. So Lamar will be backing up goaltender Jen Lee in net. Of course, the Paralympic team began their residency here in Nashville under head coach David Hoff. David Hoff was an assistant coach in 2018 in Pyeongchang, where Team USA took home their third consecutive gold medal in a dramatic overtime win over Team Canada in Pyeongchang. This team is looking to make that 4 straight. They've won 5 medals in all, 4 golds and 1 bronze, but they will not be satisfied unless they bring home that top spot. We will have all of the coverage on sled hockey right here at Renegades of Puck. If you are a new fan to the sport, don't worry. We're going to talk about all the nuances of this sport. I'm going to let you know about the international competition that Team USA is going to be facing in Beijing. And of course, we will have you all ready for that first puck drop March 5th as Team USA faces off against Team Canada in group play.
All right, before we head out of the bunker, just a couple of last thoughts from me. Games in hand. We're starting to hear a whole lot about that, and we probably should now that we're in the second half of the season. I addressed it a little bit earlier during the intro about the variance in the number of games. The Nashville Predators have played 5 and 6 games more than some of their divisional opponents. These are the teams, of course, are going to be fighting it out for the playoff positions here in not too distant of a future. Now, for the Nashville Predators, the number of games that they have played at this point is outstanding for them. They get to sit and watch their competition continue to try to make up these games. And over the month of February, there will be a lot of games being made up. The St. Louis Blues are playing 2 very quick back-to-back games between the Nashville Predators' last game and their next game. So the St. Louis Blues may see some movement in the standings, but just because teams have games at hand does not guarantee that these teams are going to win those games. The Nashville Predators also banking these victories at this time of the season and not having as many games left to play means that the Nashville Predators will have more opportunities for rest and more breaks in between games than some of the teams that are going to frankly be struggling and fighting to play many games in short amounts of times down the final stretches of the season. So for the Nashville Predators, right now, I do not see the games in hand thing necessarily being something that anyone needs to worry about or stress out about. Let's see how the month of February plays out, and we can begin to revisit that topic. I also just wanted to mention Tennyson one more time. 2 assists in this game, 3 assists in 2 games, and he is certainly an improvement over Harper. He's defensively reliable out there, and he is looking to make an impact and a comeback in his NHL career. So far, from what I've seen, he should be given more opportunities, at least until Dante Fabro is ready to come back into the lineup. And Borowiecki, under control this season. It's simply incredible to watch. He is intimidating. He is truly an enforcer out there on the ice. Last season, he was completely out of control. He took entirely too many penalties, and we all saw it. We all critiqued it. And he also understood it because he took ownership of everything that happened last season and has come back this season healthy and playing some incredible hockey. He's an outstanding third-pair defenseman. He is easily one of the most physical defensemen that the Nashville Predators have ever had. And this season, under control, he is a dominating force out there for the Nashville Predators. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier, and I sure am appreciative of each and every one of you joining us in the trenches here on Renegades of Puck TV. It's going to be a late night Tuesday night, so we'll probably have full coverage and recap sometime early on Wednesday. Again, we'd appreciate each and every one of you, not only for joining us here on Renegades of Puck TV, but a quick reminder of the Home Base Freakout Tailgate Brewery the night before the Stadium Series. It starts at 7. It goes till ? No cover. All ages welcome. You just need to bring an ID and show it at the door on your way in. Mike Fisher, Stu Grimson, and a whole bunch of other special guests are going to be on hand with us. For Mostradamus, for Sean C. Smith, for Brian Baston, for K. Perk, for the Ultimate One, and for our brand new Renegade of Puck correspondent, Ann Kimmel. I am sure appreciative of each and every one of them, and I am sure appreciative of each and every one of you. Stick taps, love, respect.